how then do we make sure that our communities going forward, that our children, their children will still be fasting, still be excited about fasting, still be talking about fasting, and still being asked, not even water? Like, we want that. We want our great grandchildren to be asked that same question. I mean, we would love it even more if communities just accepted that and got over it, but we want everyone to be fasting. So I have some tips for you. The first one is to create memories and nostalgia around spiritual experiences connected to fasting and Ramadan. We've heard already from two people that mentioned some very important things about this month. The most important one, or the one that I want to point out or join into, is the importance of the Qur'an. And that is a wonderful way to develop those nostalgic feelings in children. Connect smells, good, beautiful smells, lovely feelings, and good food, along with the feeling of praying with family, sitting and making dua together. Your children should hear you making dua for them in this month, so that at the end of the month, next year, they'll come up to you and say, Mama, Baba, your prayers, they've been answered. You want them to hear that. You want them to have deep nostalgia for the month. Second, I want us to demonstrate to our children and our families, no matter who they are, the great importance of fasting. Now, how do you do that? One way, and the actual days of Ramadan, these actual days, one of the ways you do that is by talking about it and acting as such. SubhanAllah, there is in our community, sometimes we wonder, is fasting, astaghfirullah, but I have heard this, is fasting more important? Or I have a test tomorrow, maybe I should be careful and drink. I need my coffee in the morning. We need to demonstrate to our young people that fasting isn't scary, that self-discipline is a virtue. Just 50 years ago, self-discipline was a virtue that crossed geographical and cultural borders. And today, self-discipline is almost something that is relegated only to the diet world. And we need to really demonstrate the benefit of self-discipline, the joy of self-discipline to our children, that we're not afraid of not eating for a few hours in the day, not afraid for ourselves and not afraid for them. And it goes without saying that I'm not talking about people that are very ill, but I'm talking about people who are walking through their days and feeling a little lazy, a little scared of fasting. And I've heard this time and time again. People are afraid of fasting. And we don't want to pass that off to our children or to the next generation. We want to carry this fard forward. We want to carry this way of being forward to the next generations. So you, as a parent, as an adult, demonstrate your confidence in fasting, that you're not worried. And when you get tired, say you're tired, but say, a little tiredness never hurt anyone. Little hunger never hurt anyone. And so if I'm going to say, then what are you going to take away? What do you take away from this? I suggest you strike a balance between seriousness, really seriousness about the month of Ramadan. Yes, decorations. Yes, beauty. Yes, spirituality, good feelings with one another, but also a demonstrated seriousness. These days will not come back soon. These days are very blessed. We will choose to do extra good deeds on this day because we know that the reward is multiplied for us in good deeds, starting with fasting, going to prayer, to recitation of Qur'an, to Sadaqah and good deeds. We have to teach and teach and teach and talk about it. Take very seriously these days and not set an example of taking the days lightly. Bring forth seriousness that is connected to beautiful spiritual feelings. And in this way, inshallah, and do it with intentionality, that even if you're feeling a bit tired, you're going to just bring forward a little bit more energy with that intentionality of ensuring that you and I are part and parcel of the carrying forth of this tradition of fasting that has gone back to the beginning of time. This tradition of serving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the very denial of ourselves. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us all strong and healthy and see Ramadan and pass through Ramadan in the best of ways, in good health and in spiritual awakenings.